Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. We want to call to order the regular meeting of the South Utica Lyndhurst Board of Education. Today is Tuesday, August 20th, 2024. It is now 5:34 p.m. Thank you for those of you that are online joining us, those that are here in person. Good evening and thanks again. We got a couple guests over there. Hello. May we call roll, Mr. Hill?
Ms. Falkenberg?
Here.
Mrs. Jones?
Here.
Mrs. King?
Ms. King is away on an approved absence.
Ms. Lee?
Here.
Mrs. Shelby?
Here. Perfect. May we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Great, thank you for that. We can go right into item 2, communications, liaison reports. Ms. Falkenberg, do we have a legislative liaison?
Well, it's very, very brief because both House and Senate have been in, yes. My printer's not working, so I can't get it hooked up to my Wi-Fi, but anyway. So yes, there are, the bills that I presented last time are, did go through the defibrillator bill, House Bill 47, the one that deals with staff misconduct. There is a House bill that restricts a school district's authority to require a student or employee to comply with certain anti-discrimination laws, and several others, a couple of Senate bills as well, some that overlap. But we went over them last time, so I'm not going to bemoan the issue.
All right, thank you so much, Ms. Falkenberg. I believe Mrs. King will bring her report with her at our next meeting. We can go right into item 2.2, Superintendent's report, Mr. Kaple.
Thank you, Ms. Jones. Good evening, everybody. First thing I want to do is dive into my first 20 days as superintendent. So before I dive into this update on the official first 20 days as superintendent, I want to give a shout out to my incredible team sitting over here. While this may be an update to my start, it is important to recognize that nothing gets done without their support and everything they do behind the scenes. I'm truly fortunate to work alongside each and every one of you. I know it's been a lot during this transition, a lot of changes, a lot of forward movement, and putting up with me all at the same time, so I appreciate you all. Even though these are my first official 20 days, I've had the opportunity to begin the work since April. During that time, we have successfully negotiated all 3 union contracts, CELTA, 110, and 207. That is 207's approved tonight by you all. Additionally, I was involved in hiring the new high school principal. Proud to announce that Ms. Harris has been hard at work. She held an awesome professional development yesterday. The entire high school staff did a scavenger hunt and some different games for team bonding, and then got into the nuts and bolts later in the afternoon. So things seem to be moving forward. In August, we held an administrative retreat at Sawmill Creek, where we met with principals, assistant principals, coordinators, and directors. During the retreat, we discussed our district's communication goals, our approach to visibility and accountability. We reviewed our MTSS process, and that was Maleeka, Jen, and Ray. We did contracts, buildings and grounds, and pretty much everything in between. We had quite a few new faces, especially at the high school, so we're really trying to catch them up on our processes, procedures, and with the veteran staff really looking at our new outlook. I've asked our principals, I think this is important for everybody to know, I've asked our principals to set 4 goals for the year, and they will utilize the OPES process for evaluations, aligning with the direction that we're taking as a district. So along with my cabinet, principals are also setting 4 goals. 2 they will choose, 2 that are set by us, which are data-driven, and set off report card data. As I reflect on these first 20 days, I'm proud to share the progress we've made as well, especially on the 3 goals of communication, visibility, and accountability. Just want to hit on each one of those briefly. Communication has been on the forefront of our efforts. Hopefully you've seen the great work on our social media pages and the letters sent home to our families. I got to give a huge shout out to Kristen Cash. She's our new communications coordinator. Again, we did not replace my position as assistant superintendent. MT and I had a lot of discussions about the communication piece over the last several months. Thought that was a vital asset that we needed to add. Hopefully you've seen all that great work. We're striving to keep our communication clean, consistent, and constant. Soon you'll notice common newsletters shared with our staff by building principals and bi-weekly updates sent to families. Today I was actually caught the first glimpse of them. They look very clean, easy to use, so parents can expect those coming soon. These updates will offer easy access to each building, so if you have multiple children in multiple buildings, it'll be one click and you can dive right into that building from one page and be able to dive into each one. If you just want to see what's going on in another building, feel free to do that as well. Visibility front, made it a priority to engage in this community. I had the pleasure of visiting our Brush alumni organization along with Ms. Thompson, spending time with 12 of its members. It was a very unique setting, loved it, very casual, it was on a patio. It's my kind of setting, and looking forward to reconnecting with them in the spring. Team Kaple, shout out to my family and I. Also enjoyed a wonderful time at the Eric Carmen concert in Lyndhurst. The unique thing about that, this was the first time they've done that in Lyndhurst. And a huge shout out to Mayor Ward and the city. A lot of people don't know is that there's also scholarship and donations being made to the band and musical performances too. So that was really cool to see. And my family put the money into the food truck. We did the ice cream, we did the pizza, we did it all. Just last week, participated in the Brush Community Day. Hats off to Ms. Harris and her team, as well as we had a lot of teacher volunteers there too, counselors, teachers that showed up. I even got my car washed by the volleyball team. The volleyball teams want to know, but we're going to work on the car washing skills as we go. It was a fantastic experience, honestly. It was overcrowded, which is, in my eyes, is a good thing. We've already been talking about how next year we're going to do it in the gym, give people more space. But they had a DJ in there, PTA had a table in there. It was just a really unique, fun atmosphere. And I was loving it from being an old junior high principal. there was a ton of freshmen there. And just wide-eyed and ready to go. Miss Cicero, I see you laughing over there. You know how it goes. Lastly, accountability. That was a commitment I've made not only to myself, but to all of you. I told our 500-plus employees at Convocation that they can hold me accountable because I'll never ask my team to do anything I won't do myself. I've worked closely with my cabinet members to set 4 goals for the year, 2 that I've provided and 2 of their choosing. We've also begun scrutinizing and taking our first look at the state report card data. Mrs. Bastock and her team are scrubbing that right now, ensuring its accuracy as we plan our next steps. So right now we have the initial, nothing's going to come out on that. Her team's scrubbing the data, working with EMIS, and then when that becomes official, we'll bring it out. As we move forward, I'm focused on planning the remainder of my first 100 days. This includes choosing a new website vendor, which I think we've got it narrowed down, and talk Josh into giving us the thumbs up. Sending out brief communication surveys to gather community feedback, and actually community, who's ever listening, watching this later on, you can expect that survey to come out before Rock the Block. We want that going out because we have Scantrons at our tent that we will hold, so you can actually go right onto it and conduct a survey there. We're developing a collaborative process with the PTA, visiting all of our buildings and holding community coffee talks quarterly. Stay tuned on those as I dive into my schedule and working through. We will hold those around the cities, so people have the time to come and talk to me, offer questions, suggestions, and feedback. So that was the first 20 days, a lot in there. We've been busy. I hope people can see that. Finally, this is off, pillar separated here. I want to take a moment to highlight some of the proactive work Josh and I have been doing with our partners at the ESC. Josh and I are continually focused on finding ways to protect our district and ensure ahead of any potential challenges. One of those steps we've taken is to partner with the ESC, it's no cost to the district, to review our board education meeting norms and practices. And please, please, please hear me on this. I want to emphasize this. This is not being done because there are any issues, but rather because we believe in continuously strengthening our process and to demonstrate the importance of being lifelong learners. Me being a new superintendent, we have a new school board member, Ms. Shelby. Ms. King just came on. So we've been talking. I went to a Bastock conference. We talked a lot about board meetings, and I'm proud to say we're on the mark. However, I also think that bringing in outside eyes on it, giving us professional development. We provide professional development to teachers, to aides, to everybody in between. I'd like to offer that to us as well.
You know, it's been my concern, obviously, with the lawsuits going around and things like that. I want to make sure we're doing everything by the book, how we should.
By working with the ESC, we aim to build on the strengths of our already fantastic board, establish clear norms, and ensure that our practices are aligned with the best interests of our students, staff, and community, which we're confident they are. It's really focused on those norms, because like Josh said, times have changed, especially with some people out there. We're excited about this opportunity to further enhance the governance of our district, and we're confident that these efforts will help us continue to move forward in a positive and productive way. And I love this quote, so I added it in here. I like to encourage people to realize that any action is a good action if it's proactive and there's positive intent behind it. So again, I want to emphasize, this is nothing that's going bad, but again, we always want to play offense, as I always say. We want to stay proactive, always tweaking what we do and getting better every day. So, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kaple. So those collaborations with you said with the ESC,
Yes.
so they offer a lot of those things that you're looking for. Is that some of the same things that they offer? I don't want to say the next, I don't think we should.
Yeah,
Some of the
they
things
offer
that
it.
they offer?
Yep.
They just charge.
Yep,
Okay.
they discharge.
I didn't want to say
Yep,
that.
yep,
Okay.
same exact thing. Yep, and actually, it's been, there's 4 current districts that are utilizing the ESC for
Okay.
the same type of thing. The superintendents have been requesting it. It's nothing against their boards, it's just the new era that we're living in.
Yeah, it is. I just looked at this update for school law seminar, and one of the topics here is meetings and
Yep.
board
Yep.
open issues. So it looks like they are trying to give us the proaction versus reaction.
A lot of people are hitting it now. Like a lot of lawyers are touching it. Like, I mean, it's a hot topic. I would imagine we'll probably see quite a few sessions at OSBA Capital Conference, I would think.
It was actually brought up when I went to the Black Leaders Summit with Sherrod Brown. It was actually one of the things that was actually brought up there by one of the U.S. representatives. So,
Okay.
It's a hot button right now, for sure.
Yeah.
especially I guess even with, I know we've talked about it, but even the recordings and the YouTubes and the lawsuits behind those as well, which I know the ESC talks about that in those sessions also.
And it's kind of perfect timing for me personally, to be honest with you,
Yeah.
being a rookie to this. And I think it's a great time for us to be able to set norms, work collaboratively together, and, really hound us in on what we do, why we do it, and have that standard that I'm always pushing for in everything, just not at board meetings.
And everybody can be as paranoid as I am.
Yes. See, he's making me.
stand for?
Educational Service Center.
So it's a Cuyahoga County. They're located in Independence, and they service all Cuyahoga County school districts, including even some from Lorraine. They jumped ship from the Lorraine one and came to the Cuyahoga County one. They do a really nice job. So Josh and I were even talking, possibly at our next work session, if everybody's available, we could offer them to come in and give us, some professional development, and have them come in and we can make that like a true work session. I don't know if that's one that we would record or not, because it's more professional development based for us as a team. Just to put that out there, don't mind just throwing it out there. But again, because it's really focused on the professional development piece. Obviously, it'd still be an open meeting,
It's gonna be
not trying to hide anything. People can come on in. So,
Now, and have you, when you look at some of the offerings, is it more like, will they show us some of the best practices, maybe have some examples of what other school districts
Yep.
do?
Yep.
I know I was looking at another, school district, and they were heavy on like liaisons.
yes,
Like, report, like we go to council meetings, there's some liaisons with PTAs where a board member picks up one, something like that, so they
Yep.
work with some of the best practices.
yeah, and actually, that's what, he even gave me some notes to talk about for any questions that, some of the school districts that he's working on, PTA liaison / boosters liaison, and just with these, and I told him, I was going through some of this, I said, we're fortunate, our board allows us to do our jobs, we stay in communication with them, it's not the sky's falling, he was like, oh, this one's gonna be easy. It's just more of the norms, more of the day-to-day, and how can we continue to enhance, so. Because he works with some districts, he signs on for the whole year. I said, we don't need a whole year by any means, it's to be more just a one-time professional development type of refresher.
Or they're coming in kinda after the bomb has went off and trying to put the pieces back together. Whereas I said, we're in a good spot, we just wanna try and kinda get more precise with what we're doing, make sure we're doing everything, right on.
It was actually nice, they're actually relieved, they were like, oh, this one's nice, and we're like, yeah, we're not.
That's
We're
good.
in a
I don't,
good
like
spot.
you said, proactive versus reactive. I don't think a lot of organizations as a whole take advantage of, there's a change in leadership. Why not do it now versus 7 years down the line? They're like, oh my gosh, something is wrong. Why didn't they do that when they came in?
Right.
So I think that's pretty good.
So, something to consider.
Okay.
Can we get our credit for OSBA for that one though? Can we ask Josh? Because we get credits for OSBA in our trainings and our certification,
Huh,
and that is a class that they offer.
I'm sure they'd
we
give
would
you a
get.
certificate.
So I'm just asking, can we get, to make sure it counts for OSBA?
it would be
You think they would
an
take it as a
ESC question, because they'd be the one to pass out the certificate, but I know they give them to us if we go, we can record hours for our license, so I'd
You think
imagine.
so?
they'd give them.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll be interesting, because they might be competitors. I wonder if they would try to say they won't acknowledge it, because that's something that
That's
they
what I was
offer.
thinking about.
I wouldn't think so. No, because it's not solely through, well, I guess yours are through OSBA.
Yeah, the
But I would
credits for
still
them.
think they would recognize it. I don't know.
All right.
I can't say for certain, but I'd be shocked if they don't, because they're usually pretty open about that.
And I wanted to just say thank you, I know Ms. Falkenberg, you couldn't make it, for those board members that could, it was great to see you guys at convocation. It was pretty electric in there, a lot of excitement came out of it, got a lot of positive feedback from it, so appreciate the support.
Perfect, you're welcome. Item 2.3, do we have any public comment, Mr. Hill?
Just the one I forwarded to you earlier. Ms. Richardson.
Oh, she's here in person though, so she
Yeah.
can do her own. I don't have to read it for you, do I? All right. If we do have any public comment, just recall there is a public participation piece. I believe this one has to be about what is on the agenda.
We might want to save it for the next one then, 'cause it's-
Right, so the first session of public comment is about anything that's on the agenda. Then the second one is anything that's not on there.
Yep.
Item 3.1, the minutes. The minutes of the regular meeting of July 23rd, 2024 will be approved as recorded or corrected. Furthermore, the reading of these minutes will be waived. May we get a motion to approve item 3.1?
So move.
Second.
Ms. Falkenberg and Mrs. Shelby. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, may we get a roll call, Mr. Hill?
Ms. Falkenberg,
Aye.
Mrs. Shelby,
Aye.
Mrs. Jones,
Aye.
Ms. Lee.
Hi.
Treasurer's report, item 4.1, financials.
Good evening. Recommend for approval, item 4.1, the financial reports for July 2024. Item 4.2, the bank reconciliation for month-end July 2024. Item 4.3, the investment earnings for month-end July 2024. Item 4.4, fund creation for Fund 023, a liability self-insurance fund. And then item 4.5, recommend for approval, item 4.1 through 4.4.
May we get a motion to approve items 4.1 through 4.4?
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Lee and Ms. Falkenberg. Any questions or comments?
Just to be clear, 4.4, this has to do with, we had an outside company doing our repairs on our Chromebooks. This is bringing it in-house, charging a fee to have them insured internally, and then doing our own repairs. So it's actually keeping all the repairs in-house. I would imagine the turnaround time's quicker and, yeah.
Perfect, thank you for that explanation. Any further questions or comments? Hearing none, may we get a roll call, Mr. Hill?
Ms. Lee?
Aye.
Ms. Falkenberg?
Aye.
Mrs. Jones?
Aye.
Mrs. Shelby?
Aye.
Item 5, superintendent's items.
Yeah, under section 5, requesting that the board accepts, excited to announce the 207 contract has been completed, and the vote went through yesterday, so seeking your approval for the 207 contract.
May we get a motion to approve item 5.1?
So moved. Second.
Ms. Lee and Mrs. Shelby. Any questions or comments?
I know that one got rough towards the end, I hear, so thank you very much for all of your hard work and making sure that was a smooth process.
You're welcome.
Hearing no further questions or comments, may we get a roll call, Mr. Hill?
Ms. Lee?
Aye.
Mrs. Shelby?
Aye.
Ms. Falkenberg?
Aye.
Mrs. Jones?
Aye. Item 6, certified.
Under 6.1, certified staff seeking the approval for the following new appointments. I spoke too soon last meeting, Mr. Millers. He yelled at me on the way home, said, Kaple, we're not quite done yet. But you'll see on here, the following approvals. We have a few resignations, change of assignments. Under the change of assignment, that's simply, Ms. Jethro came from the high school, went to Greenview, and all the assistant principals, under 210 over at Greenview. Also want to give a shout out to Jana Jenkins. She took a job at Mentor Middle School, or Mentor Junior High. Just wanted to publicly thank her for stepping in the absence of Mike Fording. She stepped in with class dignity and really did the best she could with the cards that she was dealt. So wish her nothing but the best. And we have a few unpaid leave of absence. And with that, seeking your approval.
May we get a motion to approve item 6.1?
So moved. So second.
Mrs. Shelby and Ms. Lee. Any questions or comments?
Yeah, I just want to second what Dom said about Ms. Jenkins. She did an outstanding job of picking up the pieces in an incredibly difficult year. And she made such a close bond with the teachers. They respected her. They felt that she heard them. She supported them. And it's a huge loss to our district. I'm so sad to see her go.
I'm not gonna belabor, but I do say the same thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
I thank her so much. If she's listening, I can appreciate her walking in her truth.
Yeah. Yep.
And I respect every decision that she has made. And I'm excited to see where she goes from here.
Yeah, me too.
You never know, she could find her way back.
Never know.
But there's a season for everything, and this is her season of healing. And I have to respect that. So, hearing no further questions or comments, may we get a roll call, Mr. Hill?
Mrs. Shelby?
Aye.
Ms. Lee?
Aye.
Ms. Falkenberg?
Aye.
Mrs. Jones?
Aye. Item 7.
Under 7, seeking your approval for the non-rep personnel. Both of these are paid out of Title I dollars. The student support specialist, Ryan Lacey, she filled in when we needed a counselor over at Sunview. We had I think it was a long-term leave, is that right, MT? We had a long-term leave, and then Regis White, no stranger to our district, has been around a long time as an ISA, and was very excited. One of those fun phone calls, right, Miller? Yeah, that we get to make. He's earned it, deserves it. The staff's excited to have him. So, again, trying to build from within. I had a great conversation with him a couple of times, and really excited to see what he can bring to Rowan and the support of Miss Marshall.
May we get a motion to approve item 7.1?
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Falkenberg and Ms. Lee. Any questions or comments? That's a good asset over at Greenview. So is that student support specialist, is that the same alignment almost like what Mr. Coleman is doing over there?
Yeah, so she actually replaced Mr. Days,
Yes.
who came over here as an assistant principal.
Okay.
Yep, so it wasn't an add-on, it was a replacement of Mr.
Right.
Days.
That's an asset. Her previous career is,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah,
I was shocked to see
quality
her in
resume, yes.
Yes. And I went to a meeting in that department where she retired from, and I was like, what are you doing here? And she's like, this is my job. And I was like, wow.
Yeah.
So to bring that social
Yeah.
piece over is gonna be a big help for Greenview. Now, in her capacity, is she grouped with a certain grade? Is she like focusing on 4th grade, 5th grade? Like, how are they divided up?
No, since there's 2 of them in 3 grades, it's more of a team effort.
Okay, so
That
they
makes-
kinda can do
Yep.
all
Yep, they
areas.
hit them
Okay.
all.
That's good. That's interesting. That's good. I'll ask that other question later. That's fine. Any further questions or comments? Hearing none, may we get a roll call, Mr. Hill?
Ms. Falkenberg,
Aye.
Ms. Lee. Aye. Mrs. Jones,
Aye.
Mrs. Shelby.
Aye.
Item 8.
Classified staff, again, filling all the positions. When one domino falls, another one is up. So, when Regis went, we had an ISA, credit to Jen Moles, went to her a couple times saying, hey, sorry, one of your ISAs applied and is getting this position, whether it's in Josh's office with Regis, whoever it might be, as we try to fill all those positions. So hats off to Jen and her team for getting a lot of these filled. You're also going to see on here, we're able to add floating security guard with the Evolve system and things coming in. We want to make sure that we're fully staffed. So that person will be, when we have a call off, just that next plug in, so we don't miss a beat. And hats off to the bus aides, thankless job, but we were able to get them going, which was perfect timing with the great news that we got on the local news recently with the PD that we did. With that, you're going to see one name on here, Cecil Shorts, who's retiring from Brush, but will be coming back in a very similar capacity. Okay, back to the district. His years were up, so he had a decision to make. So we're very excited to still have him and the entire Shorts family. I talked to a few of them today when I was out and about. Just a great family to have around. So, seeking your approval for classified personnel under Section 8.
Oh, yeah.
May we get a motion to approve item 8.1?
So moved. Second, sorry.
Mrs. Shelby and Ms. Lee? Any questions or comments?
Yeah, you said that Cecil will be back. So, he's coming back part-time, is that it? Or-
No, go ahead, Bill.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, wonderful. Right, got it.
Because he was in the teachers' union prior to joining us.
Okay.
Hearing no other questions or comments, may we get a roll call, Mr. Hill?
Mrs. Shelby,
Aye.
Ms. Lee,
Aye.
Ms. Falkenberg,
Aye.
Mrs. Jones.
Aye. Item 9.
Yeah, seeking the approval for the following supplemental contracts. We have our after-school monitor, cheer coach, and our faculty manager. And I was actually just out at Brush football practice and stopped by volleyball as well, talk cross-country. But hats off to Miss Powers. That's just not open to football players. Whoever comes in, she closely monitors them and has really done an outstanding job since we added that supplemental a couple years ago. So seeking your approval for supplemental contracts.
May we get a motion to approve item 9.1?
So moved?
Ms. Falkenberg, Ms. Lee. Any questions or comments?
What is a faculty manager?
So the faculty managers, so each Memorial and Brush each has a faculty manager. So AD, usually a lot of nights they might have 2 events going on in different places. So if they're at one, the faculty manager is the de facto leader there, make sure everything's set up, doors are unlocked, last one to leave, type of thing.
Is Ms. Drinker still in that?
No, I don't think so.
Hasn't been for years.
May we get, any questions or comments? Can we get a roll call?
Ms. Falkenberg,
Aye.
Ms. Lee,
Aye.
Mrs. Jones?
Aye.
Mrs. Shelby?
Aye.
Item 10.
Under item 10, business, we had our bus route bidding process going on, a new learning process for me. It was pretty neat. We also have a Quick Med on there, provide direct health care services as medically required. And we have our, I think that was it, actually. Yeah, just those two items under business for this time.
May we get a motion to approve items 10.1 and 10.2?
Second.
Ms. Lee and Ms. Falkenberg. Any questions or comments?
Those bus routes could be something. I was surprised that we still had good timing though with the, power outages and all of the trees that were down, that they were still able to even go practice and do the routes, so.
Yeah, they've been working, because they actually lost power, I want to say, don't mark me on this, but it was at least 3 days. It might have been Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, but definitely Thursday, Friday, they were out, so. Yeah, they've been grinding.
Hearing no further questions or comments, may we get a roll call, Mr. Hill?
Ms. Lee?
Aye.
Ms. Falkenberg?
Aye.
Mrs. Jones?
Aye.
Mrs. Shelby?
Aye.
Item 11.
Yeah, these are all fall under the curriculum instruction. 11.1, you have the Achievement Network. You might remember last time you approved something under the Achievement Network. Last time was just the PD. This one's actually coaching and a resource platform for teachers and admin. The Edge Elastic, which is another request made from the Brush staff, I believe, correct? And next one's resources for our Spanish curriculum. And we have new online textbooks coming. 11.5, this is exciting. This is one of those add-ons of Infinite Campus. So this will help streamline. We, baby stepped Infinite Campus when we originally got it. This is kind of a next layer approach. So this is their piece with scheduling and on the EMIS side of things. And then the middle school tech waiver, which we're fairly confident, not 100%, but pretty confident that this will be the last time we have to have this one approved with some of the newer things we got going on. And 11.7 and 11.8 for the non-pubs, including 11.9. And we also have, shout out to all these staff under 11.10. Mrs. Bastock was updating me. We got a lot of curriculum writing done over the summer, and it's hats off to these teachers that came in and did it. They put a lot of work in. We're in collaboration with Mrs. Bastock, Mrs. Bishko, and the entire team, so hats off to them. Also, the overnight extended field trip for Memorial coming soon. At the September meeting, you're going to hear about the Costa Rica trip from Mr. James. Yep, as well as some other updates from the high school. And 11.12 is our online option, if needed. We really specifically stated that at the bottom there. Those are for different scenarios for kids. With all of that, curriculum instruction wins the prize for most things on the agenda. And seeking your approval for everything under curriculum instruction, section 11.
May we get a motion to approve items 11.1 through 11.12?
So moved.
Second. Go ahead.
Mrs. Shelby and
Ms. Falkenberg.
Ms. Falkenberg. Any questions or comments?
I think we did good. I only had one question out of all of those that I read, so thank you, Ray.
Hearing no further questions or comments, may we get a roll call, Mr. Hill?
Mrs. Shelby?
Aye.
Ms. Falkenberg?
Aye.
Mrs. Jones?
Aye.
Ms. Lee?
Aye.
Item 12.
Yep, under 12, under student services and strategic partnerships, service agreement, first one you'll see there is for our ELL students, as well as, skipped over the biggest one on here, hello, is our new student and parent handbook that we're excited to roll out. If you have any questions about that, Ms. Thompson and Ms. Bussey led those efforts in that. You'll see some updates in there. I love their approach that they took. They really sunk it with our board policies and linked it in, so it's very consistent and clean. And 12.4, shout out to Kathy Tomorrow. She's been with us for a long time, does great things within our district, so excited to have her back And that is it. So seeking the approval for items 12.1 through 12.4.
May we get a motion to approve 12.1 through 12.4?
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Lee and Mrs. Shelby. Any questions or comments?
Just want to say ditto to what Dom said about Kathy tomorrow. She's just
She's
been
awesome.
such
Yes.
a wonderful addition to our district.
In her
over the
regular
years.
street clothes.
What?
In her regular street
Yeah.
clothes. I know she misses that uniform
I never knew
sometimes.
the kids could really love somebody as much as they love. Like, that's, but she walks into like the basketball games and the football games, and their reaction to her is just so wholesome and good. I
She's very real.
love it.
Kathryn, how'd you feel about that handbook? Pretty good?
I was just about to
Yes.
ask that.
I didn't read it with a fine tooth comb.
Oh, man, I was
Oh,
gonna
you're
say,
getting
Bussey
tired.
passed the
Yeah.
test.
I started school last week, so I'm like,
Okay, blame it on the educational system,
And she's
Catherine.
waiting on
Dang.
her email, Kathy.
Okay.
Dang.
I
We'll
know.
take
You
it
never
for what
did
it's
that for my
worth.
handbooks.
Yeah, well, not gonna go there.
Full steam ahead, Ms. Falkenberg. Don't give up now. Hearing no further questions or comments, may we get a roll call, Mr. Hill?
Ms. Lee,
Aye.
Mrs. Shelby,
Aye.
Ms. Falkenberg,
Aye.
Mrs. Jones.
Aye. Item 13.
Yeah, under items 13, exceptional students, Ms. Moll's office, you'll see different contracts, different agreements for different placements, and different programs. So seeking the approval for items 13.1 and 13.2.
May we get a motion to approve 13.1 and 13.2?
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Falkenberg and Ms. Lee.
I don't think so, because it's, she had to abstain since she works there.
I just, nothing,
She has no control over the
Okay.
process. She's not a decision maker.
just ask. Any
Good
questions or
catch, though.
comments?
Yes, I did. When it comes to utilizing Belfair again, cause I read your part late and I fell asleep texting you. Do we put out for bid, or is it we are required, do they say that this service is only provided at Belfair, or we can get this service or utilize it somewhere else? How is that done?
So sometimes students are placed, but this one has to do specifically with Monarch, so it serves only students with autism.
Okay,
And so we place them there.
okay.
I mean, we did have one child placed there a long time ago, and we picked it up because they were the boarding program.
Gotcha.
So it's a residential / day school program, but only for autism.
Got you. Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
At the Rock. May we get a motion to approve? Hearing no further questions or comments, may we get a roll call, Mr. Hill?
Ms. Falkenberg,
Aye.
Ms. Lee,
Aye.
Mrs. Jones,
Aye.
Mrs. Shelby.
Aye.
Item 14, Board of Education, information. We do have, Kathryn, I believe you're on deck for,
Yes, September.
so I told Mayor Ward that he would see you.
Yeah.
We've
Third.
got you and somebody doesn't have, okay, so, that's what I was gonna say to you. South Euclid is the 9th,
All right.
and you know, Lyndhurst skipped to
The
the
third.
the 3rd
Yeah.
because of Labor Day.
Yep.
All right, perfect on that. Rock the Block is coming up, and the
Yes.
district has a tent at Rock the Block,
Yes.
which we always do.
Yeah, so we'll be there Friday and Saturday. Excited, the administration team and my team over here really stepped up, volunteering their time over the weekend. I'll be there Saturday. MT's covering Friday. I'll be at the football game on Friday night. We got the home opener, so I'm gonna go out and support the band and the football team. So we're really excited to have our normal tent there. We've got some good handouts for everybody, and looking forward to it.
And I believe PTA will be doing a feature there as well, so there's a block of time that they will be there.
Yes. Yep.
So that's exciting, get them in there. What else do we have here?
I had a question that came up in a forum I was in regards to the Childhood Safety Act. It was more so I didn't know we was not going to be here, but, the Childhood Safety Act that was signed and went into effect July 24th in regards to, the annual inspection of the doorways in regards to halls and different schools. So I wanted to make sure we were aware of that and we were becoming.
Yeah, so, couple things. One, we are aware, we actually at our meeting with the local fire and police, because part of that is you have to have doors that are a certain age based on where the building is. And it's nice for us because it's just part of their inspections now. So when Scott from South Euclid, just to give an example, Scott Sebastian, when he comes out, that's just part of his checklist now.
Okay.
So they're gonna work through it with us as we go.
Okay, that's good, you know. And I want to remind, I know you all, Josh sent the thing about the Star Awards program. I thought about you, Crystal. When they sent it, I know I was gonna sign up for some things. So I don't know if you want to sign up too, and we can start getting credits and everything for that. Sally Hall, who is the president of OSBA, has reached out in regards to coming to one of our meetings. Maybe I'll see if maybe we can do it after we can maybe have one of our first board trainings and after that. As well, Ray, I am not sure if you are aware of the Kids Voting Ohio classes and bringing back mock trials that are starting from 3rd to 12th grade. Have you heard about that initiative? And them offering funding to different schools now for that. That was a big thing when I was stopped by our state school board member, Merle Johnson. And that was one of the things she wanted to make sure that we were aware of and we were pushing as a school board, because it is something from the state of Ohio that is, I guess, is being pushed as well for voter turnout and making sure our young people are educated when it comes to voting and voter registration. And I think when I was in that meeting, that was pretty much it in the gist of the information that I was able to get for our district. I will say, people have watched our meetings, which I was actually thankful for, but I will be honest, since Dom mentioned it, I got criticism for some things in regards to our board meetings, and I was given homework by U.S. Representative Juanita Brent to go and look at other school districts' board meetings and other, not even just school district, other board meetings and the protocols. And I did that. It was actually very exciting homework for me, actually, over the past few weeks as well. So I'm very excited about that, Dom, that you said that, because
Perfect
that
timing.
was something that was brought to my attention as well, so.
And to go off of what you're talking about with the voting piece, we actually put out to staff, I say we very lately, MT and Kristen worked on for teachers, and they were all passed out at their opening staff meeting, kind of, and I'll share it with you guys. It's really nice. It's a couple pages of what to do, what not to do during the election season. To not only protect our teachers, but also talk about how you can, promote kids to, if they're 18, to register to vote. Don't tell them how to vote, right? And just walking that thin line in public education. So I'll make sure I share those with you. It's pretty insightful.
And the last thing, I'm sorry, because I can't read my chicken scratch. Ray, so there is a thing, an initiative with different districts that they are no longer doing 0%. The districts are passing their district board policy where there are no more zeros, it's 40%, 40 or 50%, is that what it is? And I just didn't know if that was something that we had looked at to assist with student success for our students, knowing 0%, y'all, I hate 0%. You get 0, that's just nothing. So I know other districts that have, started that initiative, so I said I'd run it by you to see, put your feelers out there for me and see.
Yes, I actually came from a district that had the 50% threshold, and we have been talking with change in administration, especially at Rush. We have had a
Tomorrow is back to school night at Greenview. I believe that is true.
Yes.
What else was on here? Remind me. Father's Walk?
September something. What did you say, Buzz?
I can tell you in 1 second. Hold on. I got a list of. 19th, I believe. Yes, September 19th. Now with Notre Dame being how they are, where is the setup for Greenview? Are we still working on that?
Yes.
Or do we still have the grounds there, but just
It's still there.
It will occur at Greenfield.
okay,
So, Ms. Young is working through that with her particular team,
okay.
with the starts of school time, so that it does not conflict with the K-3 buildings that also participate in the Father Walk at 8 o'clock.
Being with Notre Dame being closed, are we just being good stewards and just not descending on a grounds that's no longer somebody's? Is that what we're doing?
We do not plan to descend on grounds that we do not have partners.
It's very tricky right now.
That is-
Okay,
but
we're
I
not
think
stepping
that's-
on it
But
right
I think we're
now.
leading by example because it makes me think of when the kids wanted to descend on Richmond Mall for prom
Oh,
lineup.
yeah.
And we were like, just because it's not open, we can't do that, so.
Yeah,
No, they're working through it.
Sounds like a
The
liability
biggest
issue.
issue is busing
Yes.
and
Okay,
the amount of
Accurate.
for parents.
okay,
And so it's just kind of working through those
okay. Thank you for that. And then while we're here looking at scheduling, I believe we don't have a need for a work session.
unless we want to do,
How we gonna do the board?
if you want to do the professional development.
I
That's-
prefer not.
Okay,
Just because I know I will be occupied.
yeah, okay.
So
No,
if we
it's
can,
fine.
that way we don't have to force it.
Yeah.
We can actually put some thought
Yep.
into it.
I like it.
Look through these and see,
Sounds
because
good
I
to me.
did tab some of these in that
Perfect.
manual to see what some of the stuff
And we can
start off
discuss
with.
at our next meeting what day you guys want to do it,
Okay.
moving forward. I think it'd be great.
All right, we can do that.
So there'll be no work session in September.
So that would be
Unless we
September,
reschedule. We could reschedule for a different date to do it.
if we need it.
If we just want to make sure, obviously, everybody can be there, because it's,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
So no work session on September 10th. We will reset that to
Or we
another
gonna
day.
put out to see if we can do a different day?
We can do a different day, but what we'll end up doing is, since it already was
Cancel
in
the
the
one.
org meeting, that it's supposed to be on that day, we have to put out a cancellation for that meeting
For that day.
specifically.
And then
we
come
can-
and say we'll
We
have
can
another
repost
meeting
for a
a
different one, once we establish the date.
Okay.
Perfect.
All right.
Only because I feel like October, we probably will really need a work session because things are coming back to Pike for the school year. So that's why I say that.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
A lot of the things we used to do in the work sessions, he's gonna do in the regular meetings now, so.
So like in September, what Josh is talking about, transparency, in September, we have Brush High School on the docket that's gonna kick off our our board meeting, and it'll be Mr. James with the trip from last year, and also, Ms. Harris and Mr. Wiley with an Evolve and, Yonder Bag update for us to keep that running. So to answer your question, those are two big ticket items that we're gonna address at a board meeting.
Perfect, so we'll see how that works.
Yeah.
I know it's far out, but I do know for a fact I will not be in town October 15th.
Okay.
I know that is our scheduled work session. If we need to look at what some of those topics are, maybe I'll just read through some of them and get input and go from there, but I will not be,
Okay.
I will be,
And I think this is a chance for us, especially since we're seeing it this way, when we redo the org meeting in January, maybe not approve all the work sessions and do them as an as-needed
Right.
basis each month.
I think that's what he said in that
We did.
meeting,
The retreat?
We-
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about, reestablishing the calendar. with that.
yeah.
Perfect.
okay. Any other information from board members? No? We have, no new and unfinished business. Item 14.3, board policy, first reading. Superintendent presents the following policies for first read and preliminary review. South Utica Board of Education will be asked to rescind policy 5330.05 at the board meeting being held today. That is the rescinding of the, procurement and use of the naloxone 1. Can you just briefly, just for, transparency purposes, I don't want people to think that when you rescind something, that means it's bad or it's horrible or
Correct.
something's wrong. I did have that conversation saying that it could be a variety of things.
Sure.
Looking at it, making sure all the verbiage fits with us. It could be something as simple as who gives training for something that we don't, we want to just I just wanted that to be brought forward, that rescinding doesn't necessarily mean negative.
Correct. And honestly, I usually would not do this for something as important as this, but this is something that Melissa steamrolled. I'm gonna give her the table and let you talk about it.
Absolutely. So, this is one of the policies that is necessary if a school district has you have the option of having stock items. We don't have stock items, so therefore we don't need this particular policy to cover stock items that we have. We do not hold them, we don't carry them. And so it's just one of those that, when looking at policies, it was included, and it just merely should not have been included since we do not carry stock items.
Thank you.
Sure.
And item 15.1, public comment. Yes, ma'am. Come on down. State your name, address, and then, you know there's a time limit, so the honker will honk when it's time to honk.
Good evening, my name is Micah Richardson. My address is 5096 Neal Drive, Lyndhurst, Ohio, 44124. As most of you know, I'm the SEL PTA president, and I wanted to say thank you to all of you. I know it's been 3 weeks for the new admin team, and it has already been such a difference. I've been talking to a lot of other parents, current district parents, former district parents, and everyone is super, super excited about the direction that the district is going, so thank you. It's wonderful to be in collaboration. I think this meeting this evening, the setup of this meeting is fantastic. I like having a microphone right here. I think it's more conducive to public comment than kind of standing in the corner, maybe standing, maybe sitting. It's kind of awkward because there's no designated mic. But anyway, so it's very much appreciated. But I just want to share some updates from PTA. So we had the Ohio PTA Summer Leadership attended. Most of our memorial people are brand new to PTA officer role this year. Some of the feedback I got afterwards was like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize like PTA was so big. And that's why I want people to attend these things, because PTA is not just in the buildings. PTA is on a national level, and a lot of people don't really realize that. PTA's mission statement is to make every child's potential a reality by engaging and empowering families and communities to advocate for all children. And National PTA has 5 core values that we work on. So it's collaboration, commitment, diversity, respect, and accountability, which align very, very closely with the district's values. So, and to see us starting to like truly partner and collaborate with each other is super exciting. One of the things that National PTA has is it's a program called Family and School Partnerships. It's all about like really being intentional about these collaborative efforts. And one of the things that, one of the national programs that they have is a program called School of Excellence. And so we're starting to, Ms. Thompson and Mrs. Young and Mrs. Cash and myself will be meeting next week to kind of look and see like what exactly are the specifics for the School of Excellence program. Is this something that can be implemented at Greenview this year? It's stuff we're already doing on an everyday basis. It's just a matter of documenting it and submitting it. And then if we were to win this designation, it's a national recognition. We get a big, huge banner that we can put up in the school. And there's a bunch of other like really fun and exciting stuff that goes along with it. And it's really, really exciting. It's really, really prestigious.
Happy awards.
Happy awards. And then on a more local level, I put in, there was a contest over the summer from National PTA. You could like enter in a drawing to win 12,000 pens. Like the really nice, like high school, like pilot pens. So, I found out recently that I will be having a pallet of pens delivered.
Awesome.
So PTA will be handing out all kinds of pens. So
Oh, yeah.
sadly, it's probably gonna arrive after, Lyndhurst homepage.
I was gonna say, what the heck, I got a spot for those.
But anyway, so, we have some exciting stuff happening in our units. Well, first of all, before I get to the units, I'd like to
Beep.
invite everyone in this room
Beep.
to.
I'm gonna let you live. You got a lot of letters on that paper.
I'd like to invite everyone to attend our first SDL PTA council meeting in September 3rd. We're gonna have a fun team building activity, and then, really that's gonna be the bulk of it. And then, Greenview is starting a mom's fundraiser, so that's kicking off next week, so if anyone needs some fall flowers to decorate your house, feel free. And then we're having our memorial bonfire is going to be October 16th, and our trunk or treat event is going to be October 19th, so more information will be coming soon, but just some things to get on your radar. And I'd like to invite also everyone in this room to consider joining PTA. I have my membership forms with me. As I think everyone here is aware, you are more than welcome to join PTA as board members and staff members, however, you just cannot vote. So I had a conversation with Ohio PTA about that, and they're like, staff members know they can't vote, so that's on them. So, we'd still love to have you be a part of, so yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, Ms. Richardson, for taking my thunder, because I was gonna tell you that I'm coming to the meeting on September 3rd, but since you already announced it, thank you, I'll be there. And I will try my best to be there at majority of them, so. I'm excited for the new direction, I'm excited for the new leadership. I'm excited, I think the administration is almost like revitalized a little bit. And, I'm excited to see where we go from here. So, that's great. There is something else that she wanted, what does she want to say for that? Nothing. No other public comment, Mr. Hill?
No.
There is no need for executive session today. Oh. And I think that's it. May we get a motion to adjourn? It is 6:32, Mr. Hill.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? All right, bye, Ashley. Thank you for joining us all this evening. We will see you at the next meeting. Perfect.
Bing, bang, boom.
I'll let you know.